No respect for the dead, dude.
Jesus Christ. Sorry. That's exactly the reaction you should have. Oh, it fades out on its own.
Kind of wants me to let my hair out and do a little headbang.
I'm a professional. I faded it out.
All right. Anyway, Tyler, okay, let's confession, okay? I didn't have time to read the book before the recording.
I didn't know it was a requirement, so I'm doing it now.
Well, we should read it.
Tyler read it.
Right, but it actually is serendipitous because we came up with a really cool way to do the Mayhem Comic of the Week, which is I already read it. What?
I just said that.
We hadn't.
He's explaining it further.
Right.
You gave the cliff notes. He's doing the full report.
I read it already.
No, he's just doing this to talk shit.
Oh, I know. I love it. Let's go.
Luke is started to read it when we started doing the podcast, and he started having these out loud thoughts, and it was like, hey, wait a second. Jake came up with a great idea. Why don't we? And I think it was. I'll give him credit, even though I think it was just laziness. But
wow. Okay.
But
no, talk about your fucking book, dude. It's cool.
Wow, dude.
So just to talk
Look,
a little bit.
You don't give these guys a chance.
Listen,
Who's gonna give us a chance?
Listen, Lucas Fortune and Sam Toast. So
Luke Stradamus over there.
Earlier this week on Wednesday, I went in to get my books, and I said, "Hey, what do you got for me this week?" And here's the funny thing: she took me to the where all the independent books are, and she pulled Grew the Wanderer off of the thing, and I said, actually, I need that because I'm reading that. So that was kind of funny because she was going to suggest that.
This was at Mayhem where?
In Clive, Iowa, I believe. I think it's Clive, or it might be Windsor
I just
Heights.
don't know if you mentioned it yet, so I just want to make sure we got that.
You know, it should be Des Moines. You should be able to find it that way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Des Moines.
Yeah.
Don't you
so then,
get off the pod. They're going to kill you.
So then she went over to this other section and pulled this one off, and I think there was bulls in the cover, bulls with horns. Yeah. And I was about to say, oh, that looks neat, but then I stopped myself because I'm like, I don't want to influence anything at all. What they give us. Mm-hmm. That's the point of the Mayhem Book of the Week, is that we're getting something we normally wouldn't read. If it's something that I think is cool, that's maybe something that I would pick up, and I don't want that. I want something that I might not.
Excuse me.
All right.
What's the book?
The book is Black Tape. It's out of AWA Comics, and it's Dan Panosian.
American Wrestling Association.
Right, and Dan Panosian's the writer. Who's the other guys? Can you say the...
Dalibor?
He's Croatian. Can you say it? I can say it if you want. Here.
Here we go. Jeez.
I don't even... Dalibor Talajic and Ive Svorchina. And it's one of 4.
I don't know if that's right, but we'll...
It's one of 4, and I'll say this. And Luke, while we're talking, obviously, just shout out your impressions, because he's actually reading the book currently while we're doing this. So, I'll say this: it's not my style. It started to be my style, like the whole
it's
pinball wizard
already.
Stuff shit was
I'm
cool.
A couple pages in.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but the whole pinball wizard shit at the beginning was cool, and the idea of did you read the little blurb on the front cover?
The dedication.
Like everybody's dying.
I didn't read that.
Oh, read that,
read
dude.
This.
Read that.
Before rock and roll legend Jack King died, he recorded one last song.
Oh.
People are dying to hear it.
That's a cool premise, right? Like, yeah.
That's pretty cool, because now I get a little bit more
See,
idea
if
what's
you would have
going
read that before you started reading it, you would have had more in... Yeah, see, that's... Yeah.
And it's cool, because it looks
You
like
gotta
a
read all
fucking,
the
like
credits
a,
and
like a
stuff. Yeah.
concert poster,
and
where it's
the-
like, hey, there's tours.
And the P in the tape looks like the Antichrist.
Wow.
So cool. So cool.
Well, they can't see it. It's audio, you dick.
No,
No.
I dig it. I dig it.
So...
Still fucking weird as shit, 'cause whoever wrote it,
I'll
obviously
say
we just
this,
said who did it.
it doesn't pick up very quickly throughout the first issue, and the big reveal at the end of the first issue, sorry, but to me was not like anything that made me want to read number 2.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Ouchie.
ouch. Mm.
Listen, these books are not all going to be winners. There are going to be...
You're right.
I'm
not
saying-
everything's going to be for you, yeah.
There's a lot of words
But that's
in
the
these
point. I
bubbles
want
right now.
to expand my horizons.
No, and it's more fun if you pick art that you're not used to in it challenge you in a different way and makes you think, well, why
like
don't I like this? Or
I
why,
like,
you know?
I like the idea of the story and like the premise of the story is like, oh, that's cool, right? Like it's rock and roll, like that's totally up my alley.
So what is the premise of the first issue?
It's basically, it looks like his wife, the wife of the Jack King. Was it Jack King?
Yes.
It's right after he died,
Like you
and
said,
so
the
they're
people that
going.
wrote it,
Yeah.
their names for these people are really like
They're
on the
kinda bad.
nose and shit. Because first of all, I feel like Sam Toast at some time we're gonna find out that he toasted Jack. He's the one that killed him.
Oh yeah,
So it's like
he
a
toasted
reveal,
him,
like
yeah.
he's the one that
Because the
then-
guy who owns
'cause
the
Lucas,
record company.
Lucas Fortune
Yep.
is. Hey, by the way, if you didn't know, this guy's got a lot of money because he owns a record deal. You got to put name and fortune.
I love it.
And then like okay,
He's gonna be so much more mean about
but
this.
there's
I
another
feel, than
thing.
you will.
There's another thing
But that's
too.
what's great.
Is as soon as this chick picks up Jack's like widow,
Yeah,
she starts like talking about how hot he was and how awesome it was and how lucky she is
to have
because
fucked him.
yeah, because she was like, I wanted that ass, you know. and then they're going to the funeral and they get to the cemetery and before they walk in, the people are talking about not meeting the parents and like
Yeah.
I've only met his wife once. And then this dude's just like, yeah, she's nice, nice looking too.
Yeah.
like
When is this set? Do they ever
70s maybe. That's the vibe I'm getting.
this guy.
It doesn't
this
have a
chick-
date on it, does it?
I don't think so.
I'm
The
getting
cars,
a
the cars look. It kind of looks like
the
the
hairstyles.
animated series like Batman. Like it's older, but it's like newer.
70s
I would say so.
because the hairstyles and the
The
clothing
hairstyles
styles.
and
And
like,
he
this
kind of looks
car
like
is,
Robert
like,
Plant a little
classic.
bit, like
Mm.
especially on the cover. But yeah, I mean, if you're telling me, okay, like the cover tells me that it's going to be revealed that Jack King like made a deal with the devil and that's why he's dead and it's a perfect song and you know all these people are trying to get at it and stuff, but that's not really made clear. There's underlying tensions and underlying like, ooh, that's, you know, watch that guy, but there's nothing concrete throughout the first book at all, the first. And at the end, you know, she reveals, or there's a reveal that she finds something out or whatever, but it's not really clear what she finds. And it's not when she handed me the book, she was like, it's kind of rock and roll. It's kind of a cult, kind of horror. You know, I'm like, oh, cool, horror.
Yeah.
There's really not that much horror except for like maybe the last couple pages. And it's not really horror. It's more a cult, more like
Supernatural.
more like Scarlet Witch,
Hmm.
you know?
You wanted more blood and guts?
You were talking about slashers and whatnot.
Yeah.
No, I just I want something that unsettles me, and this doesn't unsettle me because it's a story as old as time, selling your soul to the devil. If that's what the thing is, it's not made clear what it is at all. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of talking, and you
Like I said before, there's a lot of words in each bubble. Like,
Yes.
there's a lot of dialogue.
It's
you
like
get a
book.
lot
Yeah.
of talking about what's going on and who this is and why.
Okay, would you say that it's like too much exposition while they're talking?
Maybe.
Like there's
What do you think, Luke?
Lore heavy stuff.
Yeah, I think so. But what do you think? You're reading it right now. What's your take on why there's so many exposition? Or?
I mean, the only thing I can understand is that it's the first issue, so we gotta
Get everything
like
out.
like they kind of thought to themselves like. There's a lot of backstory we need to get to before we can get to the main shit. So let's just put the first issue out with as much
yeah.
explanation.
I'll
as
give
we
number
can.
2 a chance just to see if there's anything more to it. But if the second issue is just like this, man, fuck you.
Is
dude.
it like a situation with like Black Adam and Ant-Man and the Wasp where they have to have scenes where they have to have a lot of exposition to kind of get the like main audience that, you know, on board of like what's happening because there's a lot to
But there's
unpack.
better ways to do it, right? I mean, this is kind of pedestrian how they're doing it.
I also feel like it's gonna end up being a whodunit type shit
Well, here's
because like we already
Right.
got this bodyguard that he had a
right.
falling
Who
out
did
with.
it? Who killed
And
Jack?
then
Yeah,
Lucas Fortune, she mentioned that he's kind of a weird, like kind of an asshole.
that's like made
Sam
clear,
Toast,
right?
just like it's kind of a little too on the nose because because
Toast.
I
Yeah.
toasted him, I burned
He's
him up, he's in
toasted,
hell
man.
now,
He's toasted.
and he's fucking probably high.
Yeah, there's better ways to do it
Toast,
than
bruh.
this. I just
That's unfortunate.
no. It's just. I mean, if
No,
you're
I never want anything to be bad, you know.
it's not bad, but you know, to make something
It's
clear,
not your taste.
Dan Panosian is the writer, And I know him from, he was one of the understudies of Rob Liefeld in the very early days of Image. So when he couldn't finish a book, which was every fucking book he ever fucking did, because fucking Rob Liefeld sucks.
Jack, you were a king.
He would draw those books because he drew exactly like Liefeld did with like little variations.
That was a line from the book, by the way.
He has parlayed that into a long career with Marvel and DC as an artist. Now, if he's anything a writer like Liefeld is, this is a shit book and I'm not going to read any more of it.
Wow.
But I wouldn't say it's shit because, again, it was something that I've never seen. The art is really cool. Yeah. The premise is really neat. It's just it doesn't grab me enough to want to read number 2. I don't want to say it's a shit book because it's not. It's just not for me. And it doesn't make me want to read number 2. Again,
I think the art is great.
Art is great. The premise is great, but too much exposition and just, getting me to know these characters, that's fine, but there's better ways to do that. And there's more clever ways to just say everything.
This fucking hoe bimbo from the road, I'm assuming she's a roadie because she fits the demographic. But she just, after his funeral, she just invited like all these fucking crackheads and weirdos to the fucking house. And they're just like drinking all the booze.
Isn't that weird?
And she's just like, oh no, he would have wanted this. So I'm kind of thinking she's a suspect to get his money because she didn't rewrite the will.
Sounds like you're starting to like the book now.
It's not bad. I don't want to say it's bad.
They just got married. It's so just, apparently,
it's not something that you are invested in.
If somebody said,
schmooze her way in to try and get some shit.
If somebody said, it seems to me that they've been friends for a while though. Is the dynamic I get.
So like I said, I feel like she's banging him on the road.
Maybe.
And like she was his like, floozy.
If somebody was to say, hey, I'll give you, you can have number 2 just to see what it's like, to see if it changes or gets better or whatever, then I would give this a lot more credit.
But you don't have the curiosity to go out and get it.
No.
Right out.
Not really.
You have to read it.
Not really.
Get another bimbo? Oh, nice.
I mean, I think you should read. I mean, we have the book, so we don't have to give it back. So you can read it anytime. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it. How you feeling about it, Luke?
Ooh, there's a little demonic symbolism around his house.
I do think
setting it up.
I should read it, so I think I will read it and give my separate take on it.
Oh yeah,
in a video for like
that's content.
Content.
That's king.
Because I do think it's important that we both read the book and because maybe I end up liking it. I never know.
But like
you haven't spoiled anything for me, so I could.
No, and to be really honest, like this actually was a cool dynamic to kind of get around that. Because I mean, I don't want to. The last thing I want to do is make people sit in my car and listen to shit. So like making you read a book while we're waiting to do the podcast is like, come on, let's get the show on the road. So this actually works out really well because you're reading it. It's a cool dynamic. We get 3 different, and the more Luke's reading it, when he started, I don't think he was as much into it. But as he's reading it, like as he turns each page, he's getting more and more into it. I feel like he's getting
more involved in it than you
which
were.
Is cool.
Yeah.
That's
which is
cool.
awesome. That's different perspectives.
Right.
That's what art's all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, the art is beautiful. Yeah, the weird thing about the cover too is there's a lot of like, are they supposed to be celebrities like on the cover? Is that Brendan Fraser? There's another person on there.
Who was that artist? He worked for Marvel, and he had like a thing where he made characters look like actors. And he worked on Spider-Man for a while. What the fuck? And like Norman Osborn looked like Tommy Lee Jones and shit.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember who
Deodato,
that was.
maybe?
Maybe.
Mike Deodato, because he makes the singer look a lot like Robert Plant on the cover, and he did the cover.
So that's what I mean. Is I think
that's totally.
I
Robert
think it's
Plant.
Intentional to like look like a movie and have like these famous look like these actors.
This part, like, what's this? Who is this fucking guy? I think this is like his.
See, it's
manager.
Kind of it's unclear with the relationships from some of them too.
This dude like hands his widow fucking these pills. He's like, man, these pills will take the edge off, sweetheart. He's like, what are they? He's like, they're little elves. Call them magic helpers. Lord knows they've helped me plenty. I don't know why he's an old weird grizzly.
You can tell Luke reads to his kid because he was giving us voices. And you know what? That was fun. Painted a picture. You want to read an audiobook? You want to do an audiobook?
Do you want to paint a? Yeah. He's painting an audio picture.
Theater of the Mind.
Makes me I'm excited.
Wow. I'd never. You know what's interesting too? I've never heard of AWA.
I haven't either.
Because I've heard it. Obviously there's Image, there's Boom, there's
Dark Horse.
Dark Horse. They're the usual ones that you'd think of, and I've never heard of
I
it.
can't think of any other ones. I can't think of any other ones.
Yeah, those are kind of the big ones. I am interested enough to.
When I walk into Mayhem, they have the Marvel, the DC, and then the Independent.
Indies,
So I
'cause they're all
literally,
over.
I don't even. Once I see that it's DC, I'm like, I don't need to go any farther. I already looked at Marvel. I don't need to see shit.
Okay, Mister.
That's the point of
Dude,
the
the fucking
sponsorship,
pictures,
so we
though.
can broaden our. Because I
No,
I don't
it's probably
mind.
not a book I would.
I don't
pick
mind. Yeah, I don't mind that I'm a Marvel shill, and at least I can admit it. Unlike some people on YouTube who can't admit what they really are. But I am a Marvel shill.
Right
I'm
now,
talking about
right
the
now, right now.
bigots and stuff.
Yeah. I'm in a point where I'm developing a possible thing. I think
It's called an
I
erection.
think that yeah, okay.
Whatever.
When a man really loves a woman.
Okay, so his house is super like satanic looking cuz
Yeah.
it's and like the way they got the windows, it's like red and like they're in the
Like
shadows.
pentagrams and
yeah,
shit.
it's like demon shit and everything. And she's like looking at the photo album as she's about ready to fucking. I'm assuming she's probably gonna try an overdose because she got all these pills, just pop all of them. But I haven't, there's probably more to it. I haven't gotten there yet. But
I've never seen somebody do a live reading review. That's
so
interesting.
basically, what my thought process is at this
Slow
point in the
news read.
direction that we're going is he sold a soul
to rock and roll.
Yeah, he sold a soul to rock and roll. Anyway, he sold it to get one last banger hit, and as he was recording it, they cut his life source. They killed him,
Oh wow!
and they took
The
his soul.
demons took
They
his
took his soul to hell, but he put his heart and soul into the track. The
So
final
he stays
song.
alive with the last song.
He takes this final song and he continues to tell his wife, "Don't let them have it. Don't give it to Lucas. Don't let them put it out. Do it on our own terms."
Because then
our
he
own shit."
dies.
Because his contract is tethered to the
Well,
song.
now I really like it because he fucking popped the whole thing open for me just now.
you know what I'm saying?
That literally
His-
pops the
his-
whole fucking
his
book
contract
open.
with
That
with
makes
the
so
devil
much sense.
is tethered to the song.
Yes, that's
so if
why
it
she
is
doesn't.
released by
That's
them,
why. Yes.
then they take him. He's
That's
he's in
awesome.
purgatory right now, and he's living on through the music.
Guess who
and
doesn't
the rock.
get symbolism?
Tyler Allen.
I got
I
chills,
literally.
so now I do kind of want to
read
read
it
the
like.
series.
I read it like kind
Yeah,
of.
now
I
I'm
don't know.
invested.
You're welcome, America.
You're welcome.
Sponsor
who wrote
me.
It? Who wrote it?
Sponsor
Dan
me.
Panosian.
Black tape.
Now I feel like a shithead for shitting all over him, like he was an Image bitch.
Look.
when I'm just like, man, I wish I could write a story that cool.
Photo
Oh, do we have?
That's so
do we have another? What's in my
Photoshop your
mouth?
names a little bit more and
Hey,
We should just play it every 10 minutes.
I think we should start playing out this segment with this.
Oh.
I'm gonna turn it down a little bit.
Okay, yeah, because it might be.
now there's demonic symbolism where like people are showing up to the house.
That's so hard.
That's